Hi again. Have you ever considered the benefits of poop? By the end of this lesson, you will learn that poop can surprisingly help cure serious diseases. In the last two lessons, we learned about viruses, what they're made of, and how they bind receptors to enter our cells. When viruses hijack our cells, they take over the machinery naturally used to replicate DNA, transcribe RNA, and produce proteins on ribosomes, all at the expense of the energy produced in mitochondria. So, although virus particles may not be alive, they are unquestionably the ultimate parasites. When viruses attempt to infect us, we fight back. Our first line of defense is designed to intercept, block, and prevent access to our vital organs. But when this fails, the front lines of defense are breached, and then we need to mount a counterattack and hit the enemy hard, knock them out, and get rid of them. These defense responses are produced collectively by our immune system, and as we will learn, employs two modes of action. Innate immunity, which is ready to go, fast and immediate protection, and acquired or adaptive immunity, which is slower to kick in, but much more powerful, sophisticated, and has long-lasting memory. Both these systems work together to prevent access to the inner workings of our body, identify the infectious agents, mount an immediate first tactical blow at the site of infection, develop sophisticated and highly effective precision weaponries that neutralize and demolish pathogens, and establish and store detailed memory of exactly how to deal with specific pathogens in the event we ever encounter them again. So as you can imagine, the immune system is really important. But where, you may ask, does this immune system exist? Actually, it's not focused to a single well-defined organ, like our heart or lungs, but rather tends to be spread out, including lymph nodes, bone marrow, the thymus, and spleen. Much of it travels through our blood, reaching every nook and cranny of everything inside of us. Think about it. Our body is like one big tube of sorts with two special types of coating, separating us from the outside world. Our outer surfaces are covered with skin, and here and there are openings that lead to the inner surface of the tube. The two main openings are our nasal oral cavity at one end and the anus at the far end of our digestive tract. In addition, there are two more surfaces where the outside world meets the linings of our body. These are our lungs, the respiratory tract, and the urogenital tract. Through each of these orifices, various things can enter or exit our bodies: air, food, waste, and sometimes even babies. But the vital organs of our body, like the heart, liver, kidneys, and brain, as well as our muscles and bones, all exist between the two linings that routinely communicate with the world around us and in us. The linings of our body provide the physical barrier between us and the environment. The blood connects all these surfaces, along with our internal organs. As you probably know, blood is made of three main components: plasma, the fluid of the blood that contains all sorts of proteins, salts, and electrolytes; then red blood cells, the erythrocytes that carry oxygen from our lungs to every organ and tissue of our body and remove CO2; and finally, the white blood cells, the leukocytes. Leukocytes are the cells of our immune system. Blood cells, red and white, stem from, you guessed it, stem cells. These cells are fundamental in they contain all the necessary genetic information to produce all the different kinds of cells of our body. Hematopoietic stem cells, that is to say, blood stem cells, reside in the bone marrow, the stuff that fills the hollow spaces of our bones. And through a process of step-by-step development, they turn to red blood cells and to different types of white blood cells. This process of selective development generating different kinds of cells is called differentiation. Hence we say, for example, that stem cells differentiate into white blood cells. Generally, there are two types of white blood cells: phagocytes, cells that eat pathogens and play a crucial role in our innate response of infection, and lymphocytes, special cells that have the unique ability to identify specific pathogens and mount a strong and effective adaptive immune response. This is to knock out intruders with precision and remember how to do it in the future. These immune cells are an essential part of our blood and travel to all corners of our body via our bloodstream. Immune cells also flow and travel via the lymphatic system, an extensive drainage system of our body that continually collects the cells and plasma that seep out of our blood via leaky capillaries and pours them back into the blood system. Finally, the immune cells can also exist in interstitial spaces of our tissues, the spaces between the cells of our organs where the initial encounters with pathogens often occur. So you see, in order for the immune system to be able to knock out bacteria and viruses, it needs to recruit a whole bunch of white blood cells and activate in immediate response the innate system and call on the adaptive system if needed. In the next few units, we will focus on the innate system and leave adaptive immunity for lesson 6.